Good Calamity. That was... Yeah, that was... Well, all these season finales are always meant to be dark, grim, everything in between. But, I think, at least for right now, I think it's time we talk about episode 12 of Ray Donovan right now. Now, the episode in title is called Time Takes a Cigarette. Now, so far of this season, we've had a lot of droppings going on. Everything happening here and there. Avi's now gone. Abby is now gone along with him. And then there's a lot to go through with this one. But, this has got to be the most questionable one that I have to wonder what will happen next. I don't know. But let's talk about the episode. It starts out with Ray visiting the location where both Abby and Ray winded up crashing when, like, the first episode, when the both of them are driving down the highway and then suddenly they just steer off course and nearly crash into a tree. Pleasant vision. As he winds up appearing at Natalie's funeral, especially after what happened a couple of episodes ago, after seeing her dead in his apartment. Mick winds up talking with a lawyer as he places all the kills and everything, all the blames, upon Ray, saying he's the one that did it and not himself. All of this is happening. Daryl is given two choices at Abby's bar, and that the options being either he gets the gun to Ray or he gets rid of it inside the California lakes. A tough option, but we'll have to see what finds out then. But in the meantime, Terry keeps Smitty company as Bridge winds up coming in and seeing that Smitty's not in the perfect of conditions. While all of that is happening, Ray winds up visiting Samantha yet again and giving her the option to help Bridge out with Smitty. Because, you know, after, like, maybe the 10th episode, where she tries to force her to, do the surgery, that went over so very well. Later on, Ray actually winds up visiting the home that we saw many times in the series, as obviously the house is getting packed up. Connor sees that the room being emptied out. It shocks him to no end. And especially returning after from military school, Ray winds up helping him sign towards the Marine Corps, especially after the many things that happened. He would, and of course, as he would say, as Connor would say, is that he decided to join since his father was part of the Army. However, Ray points out that he died in Vietnam. So, maybe chains will break? It really doesn't matter at this point. We won't see Connor anymore in the series, so that'd be a question. Though I don't think they move outside of California. I mean, this season, they've gone to New York. I mean, hell, they even went to Boston during the series premiere, but so far, only New York. Surprising, I know. And as Daryl is thinking about the two options I mentioned earlier, he's actually offered a job at the actor's studio, which is oddly enough named White House Productions. There is an obvious joke I would insert here, but I'm not. So now he's given that option. Either he can be with Mick and try to help him out, or work for the studio that the actor runs. Again, his choice. Ray winds up visiting the psychology doctor for the last time, as the doc winds up telling Ray that he's got a form of PTSD. And this actually winds up questioning some of the certainties that Ray is under. I mean, we've known in the past episodes that the Donovan family has some big issues with the priests. Especially in the first episode where, let's see if I can remember this. It's been a while since I've seen season 1. What happens is that in the beginning, Mickey is let out of prison, and he winds up going down to a church, to a priest, as Mick winds up executing him. But that doesn't stop there. Apparently their childhood, or at least Ray, from what we see of his perspective, at least in one shot in this episode, he's shown a little warning here. One of his childhood visions was that he was shown a ding-dong. Yeah. He was shown a ding-dong when he was young. And don't be stern on this! Whatever sick, twisted priests there are in that world, they definitely are the twisted people they are. Ray is given the weapon by Daryl as he winds up getting a call about how the studio will defund his client. Defund the production of a show that's going on in the studio, especially seeing as how he will wind up going to Douglas to take over, which leaves Ray to have to figure out what to do. But seeing as how Ray is Ray, he'll wind up thinking of something on the spot, or coming up with a quick strategy. That's Ray for you. And so as Ray is finally visiting the home, he actually winds up getting the family dog back, which, oddly enough, they haven't named him yet. They just call him Dog. Honestly, I wish there was an actual name for the dog in the show. I mean, he's given the name, at least to the fans' perspective, his name is Donald Dog. That's sort of, you take the half of Donovan, so D-O-N-O, and just put dog on it, and it's called the Donald Dog. They haven't given him a name, so I guess for a big, white, fluffy dog that he is, I think I'd name him, well, this sounds girlish, Snowball. Yeah, I'd name him Snowball. But, of course, as he's grabbing the dog, we finally say goodbye to the house that's been in the series for the entirety of this series, from beginning to the end of the finale. And you could tell everything is going down within this finale. I'm interested to see how it all ends, and probably you are if you've actually seen the series itself. As well as this season, of course. So, Ray winds up dropping the dog off with Bunchy, as Bunchy is given the bar for him to remodify. We wind up seeing Ray fly to New York with Samantha. Bunchy winds up getting the baby after certain issues happen between him and his wife. And Mick is told that before they could grab a lawyer, that before any case could happen, the evidence of the gun was given to the FBI agent, and Mick is told to confess to the murders. But in the end, he decides, screw that, I'm not confessing. As he winds up just heading back to his cell and play solitaire. Later in New York, Ray winds up traveling with Samantha all over New York because Samantha has very fond memories of New York, thinking about a lot of the locations and everything. And I gotta be honest, New York actually does look pretty good. And I've said this before many times in my vlogs, and I will say it again. New York is just so wonderful looking. I actually want to visit there sometime. Maybe in the very near future or sometime when I get enough funds. Who knows? Maybe there might be an MLP convention in New York I might attend. If there ever is one. As they're touring New York and everything, they wind up going down to the hospital that Ray winded up secluding for Samantha, as well as Smitty and Terry and Bridget. And of course, as the surgery is about to begin, Bunchy, meanwhile back in the West, Bunchy winds up talking to a person about renovating the whole place and making it look like a snazzy bar. With everything, blackjacks and hookers and the Futurama reference I just made there. No, but seriously, he actually winds up wanting to put in a foosball, darts, and even a pinball table. And the guy renovating the place that he's talking to actually is a pinball wizard. A wizard at the Addams Family pinball table, no less. And of course, by the time this finale happened and the guy was mentioning Addams Family, I actually have a poster of the Addams Family right in my room. I'm not kidding when I say that. I'm not showing it right here. I may show it later on. Maybe in a future video or whatever. But back to the story. The Pinball Whiz is just talking with Bunchy on how he's got the highest score on that Addams Family themed pinball machine. As Bunchy's thinking, why not just add like a bunch of pinball tables to the bar? That won't get annoying at all. All that clinging and clanging of the tables, that won't get annoying fast. It does not end there. There's still more to go. As the surgery is underway, I can't speak English today. As the surgery is undergoing, Ray winds up going to the Eddington hotel where Douglas is at, as he winds up finding him in his apartment and silently kills him in his place. Which I believe answers to the question on the studio, whether or not the control is back to him or not. Questionable. But yeah, he silently kills him and hangs him on the ceiling, and making it look like he committed suicide. And as that happens, Smitty's surgery is a success, as we wind up seeing where everybody is at now. Obviously, we know that Bunchy has the bar and he's planning to renovate the place. Joe has his new job at White House Studios as a executive producer, I think. And Mickey is still ticked off about how quick Ray was able to getting the evidence to him. But I almost forgot, Bridge and Terry have to look over Smitty, because after surgery, you're not normal until sometime later. But that does not end there. No, it looks like we got a Return of the King style ending right here. Kinda. How the episode ends is that Ray winds up sitting on... How it ends is that Ray sits on the... I forget what it's called in New York. I mostly know about New York because of Liberty City and Grand Theft Auto 4. But what happens is, Ray winds up sitting out on the bench with an overlook of the Sea of New York. And as Ray grabs out a pack of cigarettes that was taken out of a box of his, Ray winds up visiting Abby. Ray winds up visioning Abby as she is walking around everywhere, as Ray follows her to the top of the building where the bridges, where the benches are, as Abby winds up jumping off, but also to a dark twist. Ray jumps as well, as Ray winds up jumping into the water and to be left for dead. And that is Time Takes a Cigarette. First, the title reference. The title reference is to a David Bowie song, I think, called Rock and Roll Suicide. Either that or it's actually titled by this episode that it's titled by. And that's how the Ray Donovan seasons usually end. It ends with a dark ending. Season 2, we wind up having Ray just blankly staring at the camera like, help me, what do I do next? I forget how Season 3 ends, but the Season 2 one just sticks out of my mind. Season 4, we had a great finale where everybody's wrapped up, everybody's going their normal ways, and Ray is celebrating this momentous moment. And it's good to know that we see that happen. But with the dark ending of this episode, and I know this for a fact, I mean, when I was first watching the episodes, I was like, I'm used to it. These dark endings, I'm used to it. But Ray jumping into the water to be left for dead, I mean, it's a big question. What will happen in the next season? How is all of this going to happen? How is Ray going to wind up being able to live on? I mean, he just committed suicide. He jumped off of a roof and landed in the water, and for what he sees, he's just floating there. He's not hesitating in any way. He's like, I give up. Everything I touch, I screw up. But not in the press Ray, he knows it. His PTSD makes him remember it. This, my friends, is making me have to wonder. Especially since they renewed the show for Season 6. And I'm excited to take a look at it, and I will keep you guys in mind for when you should expect those reviews. And even if there are trailers that come out, I will do a trailer talk on them of some kind. This leads to a big question. What will happen in Season 6? Everybody is on their has now their new jobs. Mickey's ticked off, and Ray has gone into the water and looks like he's not going to come out. What's going to happen next season? Well, quick opinion on... I forget the episode now. Time Takes a Cigarette. So, Time takes a cigarette. It's the usual dark Ray Donovan ending that a lot of people are used to. The season lost a lot of many people, especially with seeing as how the beginning kept constantly flashing back between Ray there and now, and where everybody is despite a happy ending in the last season. With everything that has happened, I mean, it's interesting that we now finally see everybody going two different ways, and not for the better, but they think it's just for us to keep us out of jail. That's what they think. That's what all of them think when they're all working on it. And yeah, that's the finale for you. I have no clue what's going to happen in season 6, but if there's any answers at all on what might happen in the next season, I just hope it's for the better, because I have spent 5 seasons seeing Ray try to get everything normalized in the way it's supposed to be, and everything just comes flying at his face, and him just in the water, not affected by anything, and seeing the vision of his dead wife committing suicide. I just hope everything turns out for the better for Ray. I mean, a possibility maybe is that he's picked up. He's in the hospital somewhere. He's being looked at. But it can't be Ray Donovan without Ray Donovan! Sorry. I've grown so used to liking Leah Schreiber's character. I mean, he portrays this character to a pure, whole, gruesome, yet brilliant detail. He's probably the best actor in all of the series. I mean, sure, we got Jon Voight, who was like in Midnight Cowboy and Deliverance and Holes, just to name a few. And he's good as well, but the only reason that I'm actually liking this show is because of how Leah Schreiber is. He is an amazing actor. His portrayal of the character, you actually sympathize with him. I mean, every struggle he goes through, every single thing that happens in the episode, he has trouble with. And you're seeing me for a fact. In the episode Horses, when Abby dies, and you see Ray see his beloved wife long gone, I actually felt for him. I actually teared up. And I just don't know how to conclude all of this. But I guess with that in mind, that's the end of Ray Donovan Season 5. Once everything comes out for Season 6, I hope everything works out. We might see redemption of Ray. Something may happen to the family. Something I don't know might happen. I mean, if this is the end of the series, then wow. But it's the matter of the subject that it's a dark way to end Ray Donovan. But if anything, I just hope everything in the new season works out. And it looks like, as of right now, Entertainment Weekly has some information about the burning questions about the finale and everything. So, it'll be interesting to see what will happen at the end, but as I've stated before, and I didn't forget, Ray Donovan is renewed
for Season 6.
So, I look forward to that. Apologies if my rambling became so off topic and everything. It's just trying to get over this finale, and I'm gonna have to wait another year until to see what happens to him. It's gonna be a long day of suspense. It's really going to be a long day of suspense. A long year, I should say. But with that in mind, I shall see you guys for the next set of videos that come out, and for any announcement of Ray Donovan that may be. So, hope you guys have a safe holiday. Hope you guys enjoyed the season, and I'll see you guys sometime later for the season premiere of Ray Donovan. So, see you guys later. But still, why, Ray? Why?